Yeah.
All right, y'all. I am with Dr. Ozzie today, my fave functional medicine doctor in the world, and we're going to be talking about Ganoderma. I've been posting about Ganoderma, the spores, the coffee, the benefits, but this is the man of the hour, smart person
No.
who knows all of the science behind it. So we are going to talk about that today.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, by the way.
Yeah.
Hello to all the followers out there in Emily Land. And yeah, I'm Dr. Ozzie. And welcome to the show. Our first show.
I know we should start a show.
Yeah, we should.
We're going to start a show.
Yeah, helping people. Yeah, and so we're going to talk about Ganoderma. Very, very cool reishi mushroom. Hello.
Kendall Frederick. She's
Hello.
a fellow NTP.
Oh, top notch. All right, so we're talking about functional medicine. So I'll go over me a little bit because,
Yeah. Introduce yourself.
So Dr. Ozzie's been doing close to 15 years now. Been practicing 18 years. And so functional medicine became a big part of the practice after we were doing chiropractic neurology, and then getting further into, okay, well, what else goes on chemistry-wise, blood chemistry analysis, and then breaking down things from there from a chemical standpoint, right? Because it's not just about brain and how it functions and the communication between brain and body, but also actually the chemistry it gets. So again, for instance, if you don't have enough iron, you can't get oxygen in the tissue, and you couldn't heal a musculoskeletal problem even if you tried. So it's not just about physical therapy or rehab or chiropractic or stimulating brain. It's also about the chemistry, and vice versa. It's not all about the chemistry. You can have the best chemistry, nutrition, diet plan in the world. If your brain doesn't know what's going on or what you're doing or how you're trying to fix things, there's no communication there, you still got a problem. That's where the applied kinesiology and the muscle testing and the functional neurology comes in, is that communication part between brain and body. It's like a marriage, so you gotta have both, right? So at any rate, Ganoderma. So I guess that's enough about me, right? Yeah.
No, people love hearing about it. Because
All
I
right.
talk about him all the time.
Yeah.
He's saved my life.
Oh,
literally.
Thank you. Well, I've been blessed to have been educated well and continue to educate myself and others as well, being educated. And then more you know, the more you can help, right? So we're continuing down that path. So one of my mentors, Dr. Bob Rakowski, introduced me to Ganoderma, and Ganoderma is in Organo, which is the coffee that we're about to talk about. Ganoderma actually comes back to ancient Chinese. The emperors used to have it, and interestingly enough, back in those days, if you were caught, if you weren't in the royal family or very, very high up, you would actually, and you're caught with Ganoderma, sadly enough, they would execute you by decapitating you. It would, yes, chop your head off. So
Not fun.
yeah, not fun, not good. And we can buy it on the internet. Isn't that awesome? So literally the anti-aging medicine. So a lot of patients or a lot of people always looking for anti-aging. So very, very, that's what it was. The Ganoderma is kind of named for that, the king of mushrooms. And very, again, longevity, the mushroom of longevity. So Ganoderma has tons and tons, probably over 3,000 PubMed peer-reviewed literature. So there, I know you can always find some maybe negative stuff about anything, but if we look at the overwhelming information on Ganoderma and the reishi mushroom, you see tons and tons of applications, from cancer to anti-inflammatory to fibromyalgia, yeah. So RA, yes. All it's very, very immune boosting and supportive of balancing. So almost like an adaptogen, where it kind of adapts to highs and lows. And really, when we talk about autoimmunity, which is on the rise, you start thinking in terms of it being like a teeter-totter and the immune system really being out of balance.
Yeah.
So instead of just tanking the immune system, which is what we'll typically do with medicine, is just say, hey, if your immune system's out of control, let's just kind of get rid of it. But then we hear, okay, well, increase your chances of cancer, and could increase your chances of other things happening like pneumonias and all that, because medically we're just trying to get rid of it, as opposed to say, hey, I want to keep my immune system, but I want it balanced. I don't need it to attack me.
Yep.
Right. So again, reishi mushroom, really, really good for that.
Type 1 diabetes too, right?
Yes. So type 1.
Cutting insulin.
Yep. Go ahead.
Well, they were just, the Ganoderma was like cutting people's insulin by 2/3 just with use of the Ganoderma spores in the coffee.
Yeah. And so interesting with the coffee, you'll see that you'll have some I like the black coffee, but if you get into the mocha and the latte, they'll actually increase the amount of Ganoderma to counterbalance anything that's going on with some of the other stuff that's in there that might not be super diabetic friendly. And we've had patients on it, and they like it, and they actually see their numbers not only not spiking when they have it, sometimes actually coming down. And I think it's just because, again, Organo does a good job of understanding that, hey, I need to increase the amount of spores that are in that particular drink because I've got some other stuff that I have to counterbalance. Right? Yeah, so when we talk about type 1, type 2 diabetes, again, PubMed peer-reviewed literature stating that it shows increase in the beta cells. So the beta cells are what make insulin in your pancreas in type 1. That's autoimmune. It's going to be attacking and breaking those down. So they're showing that it can actually rejuvenate those beta cells, which you'll be able to make more insulin. So even with type 1 or type 2 diabetes, it would start supporting that and helping that through that mechanism. And there's other things that it does actually in the liver, where it starts playing off of what they do with metformin, glucophage, which is a medication they use for diabetes. It's kind of going that same route where it's starting to kind of block your liver's ability to break down glucagon and actually make sugar for you, right? So a lot of times we'll talk about patients who we have skinny diabetics. Well, they're typically high stress. They're not eating properly or not eating throughout the day. Cortisol goes up, and cortisol breaks down, sugar from your liver and your muscles and your tissue, right? So that you make sugar whether you like it or not, right? So anyways, it helps with blocking that.
Well, and you've used it with your cancer patients.
Yes.
Yes, and Dr. Bob Rakowski used it with a stage 4 breast cancer and got them cured basically with it. So it's very alkalizing. So when we talk about things like cancer, we do, okay, well, why does that work? Right? Super alkalizing, super supportive of kidneys. Again, literature on that. So what gets rid of your acid? Kidneys. 90% of your acid out through. So if your kidneys are taking a beating, which a lot of times they'll take a beating from things like chemo, right? You want to support that, strengthen them up, not beat them down, right? So the Ganoderma is going to help with that. And then I get rid of more acid. And acid is one of the main things that's in every single cancer known to man. So you're toxic, you're anaerobic, and you have more acid. So if you can support those three things in any cancer patient, you're going to have benefit. And it's an immune booster. So we have cytotoxic T cells, natural killer T cells, which their job description is kill cancer, right? So we have those, right? So if you talk about a cure for cancer, well, you look at a physiology textbook, it's there. So the question is, how did I get behind? Right? And one of those three things we just mentioned. But now, how can I increase my immune system? Right? And Ganoderma does that. So then